if I wanted to post an ad.
Each day, this young woman, we'll call Jessica, spent hours on the internet, posting provocative photos of herself and fishing for clients, people who would pay her to have sex.
Mine used to say Latina, barely 18 years old.
Jessica worked as a prostitute in the booming internet sex trade, but she didn't work for herself. She says she had a pimp who set a quota of $1,000 a day, money that took about 10 dates to earn. Jessica told me she was afraid of her pimp, that if she didn't work, she didn't eat, saying she once went 5 days without food.
I thought I was going to die of starvation.
You had to work not for pay, but to get fed.
To get fed.
Jessica is afraid to be identified because she says her pimp is a gang member. 2 years ago, when she was a 19-year-old runaway, she says she became the physical property of a California gang, where prostitutes, many of them underage, are often branded with tattoos bearing the gang's insignias or their pimps' names. Lieutenant Valencia Sadat says law enforcement is beginning to look at prostitutes as potential victims of sex trafficking.
Rather than just focus on the women that are out here on the street, focus on the reason that they're here, the people who place them here.
3 warring gang factions in Oceanside, California, laid down their weapons to form what investigators say is a profitable business enterprise to traffic and prostitute women and girls throughout California.
This is one of the biggest investigations we've had in Oceanside's history, actually.
Sergeant Adam Nolan says Oceanside Vice detectives led the 18-month-long investigation into the Crips enterprise and found the business was moving away from selling drugs to selling women, and the internet was their most powerful tool. This is new territory for the gangs.
Yes.
Profitable?
Very profitable. If you sell your drugs, you have to go replenish your supply. Here, you have a girl that you're prostituting out. You don't have to find another girl.
FBI, search warrant, open up!
The investigation resulted in the federal indictment of 38 people, including suspected gang members, their associates, even hotel owners where the alleged prostitution was taking place. Suspects were indicted on multiple charges, including racketeering and sex trafficking. As for Jessica, the turning point came after she witnessed another prostitute who was her friend being beaten by their pimp. She says she watched in horror as he sprayed mace in her mouth and forced her to swallow it. Then she says she knew she had to escape.
Nowadays, people see prostitutes, they call them names. They don't know what we're going through if we were fed last night, if we're being raped.
Jessica says she was abused as a child and never would have resorted to this life if she would have had a family who protected her.
I don't have a dad. I have never had one. I think I waited like 18 years or 19 years for him to call me on one of my birthdays and never did. It's painful.
Jessica says she worries about all the other vulnerable women and girls who get trapped in a life they cannot escape. Thelma Gutierrez, CNN, Oceanside, California.